I have the question 9.97, which is to draw Lewis structures for germanium tetrachloride, carbonate, phosphate ion, and peroxide. And I have drawn them here, and I'll go over them. With a germanium tetrachloride, when you draw out the Lewis dot structure, you find that it forms a single bond with each chloride atom. And so that's stable. And for the carbonate ion, which is trickier because this is an ionic compound, what I did was I first of all drew out the structure, and then I checked the bonding with formal charges by checking the formal charges to ensure that I was correct, that I was accurate. And for this particular one, when I draw the structures initially, I got a formal charge of +1, which we know is incorrect. So I had to check the formal charge, knowing that the valence electrons for carbon is 4, and the number of non-bonding occurring here is 0. And then the number of bonding divided by 2 initially was 4, which gave me the +1. Sorry about that. But when I created a double bond with this oxygen atom, it gave me 6 bonding atoms, which when divided by 2, you arrive at 0. So I cancel those out, or rather I have 0 here, which is stable. And then for this particular atom, you find out the formal charge, you arrive at 0. And then for these atoms, you only need to do 1. The formal charge is -1, and since we know that carbonate is a -2, so we have -1 and -1, which is -2. And I did the same for the phosphate ion, where I calculated the formal charges, and I ended up with a -1 for the oxygen atom, and we know that it's a -3. So that's that. And then lastly, for the peroxide, when you draw it out, some people put the 2 dots here. I did this to show the bonding. It's up to you. As long as you have the proper drawing of the dots as well as the charge, then you should be fine. And you need to make sure that it is a -1 for each atom. So -1, -1, which is -2. Thanks.